Good morning to all of you. Now we are going to start history section along with art and culture. Clear? So what I will do, I will first cover your ancient history, then your medieval, and then will come on Indian heritage, art and culture. Exactly, few topics are there, though they seems that they are the part of the history, but in other terms, they are the part of our culture. So, as I told you in my orientation class, that we cannot separate them, we cannot isolate them. We have to prepare ancient, medieval along with the art and culture together itself. Then what will happen? This will create a coherent picture all together. Clear? For example, here in the ancient history, whatever we'll cover, some of the part would be there in the culture. So मैं वहां पर उस कल्चर सेक्शन में जब आऊंगा तो मैं ये बता दूंगा कि ये मैंने एंशियंट की क्लास में कवर कर दिया है, इसको हम यहाँ पर नहीं करेंगे, बताता रहूंगा मैं आपको बीच बीच में, ठीक है ना। तो ये जो आपका नोट्स होगा, ये नोट्स आप बनाना, हिस्ट्री अलॉन्ग विथ हेरिटेज, आर्ट एंड कल्चर, यही रिवाइज करके एग्जाम में चले जाना, कहीं परेशान होने की जरूरत नहीं है। गॉट इट? सो लेट अस स्टार्ट। फर्स्ट I am going to start ancient history. See, this ancient history is called Prachin Itihas. Before this, I would like to tell you that we can divide this whole segment in three parts. One is called prehistory, proto-history, and then the third one part is our history. Now, the question arises, what is the difference? What is the criteria? So, gentlemen, prehistory is that part of history where we have the sources that is available mainly archaeological sources, means the things that we have recovered after excavation, after exploration, as such nothing is there that is written. No, written source is not available. मतलब प्री-हिस्ट्री को जानने के लिए whatever the sources are there, they are only and only archaeological sources that we have received after exploration and excavation. As such, no written evidence or no written material is available. हमारे पास कोई भी लिखित साक्ष्य उपलब्ध नहीं है. तो वो हिस्सा where we have no any written sources and we have to depend only on archaeological evidences that we have received after exploration, excavation, is called prehistory. Is called prehistory. And for your information, I would also like to tell you, prehistory in Hindi is called Pragaitikhasikal काल. Why I am telling you the Hindi as well? Because you should know both meaning. प्रागैतिहासिक काल, इतिहास से बहुत पहले का काल, प्री-हिस्ट्री. Now, proto-history. What is proto-history? So again here, this archaeological sources is continued. Exploration, excavation continued. Here in prehistory we have no written sources, whereas here in proto-history section we have the written sources. We have the written sources, but but we cannot read them. हम इनको पढ़ नहीं सकते. Though the efforts are going on, continued, प्रयास जारी है, but अभी तक इसको पढ़ा नहीं जा सका है. Means written sources are there, but we are not in a position to read it. Those sources are still not read. That section is called proto-history. Now the third part. Here all these three, excavation, exploration, written sources are available, and we are also in a position to read it. हम इनको पढ़ सकते हैं. So again I would like to summarize, see on the board. The overall history can be classified in three terms. Number one, prehistory, which is in Hindi called Pragaitikhasikal Kal. On what basis it is called prehistory? Because to know about this period, we have only archaeological evidences that are obtained after the exploration, after the excavation. As such, we have no any written material is available. Then comes proto-history. Here see the word proto. Proto means something like the history but not the real one. So this is in Hindi called Adya Aitihasik Kal. This is in Hindi called Adya Aitihasik Kal, proto-history. Here we have the archaeological sources, evidences, along with the written sources. Something is written, but we are not in a position to read it. Therefore, this part of history is referred as proto-history, Adya Etihasik Kal. And then comes the third one, which is see here on the board written history. Here we have archaeological sources, evidences along with the written material, and we are in a position to read it. This is the reason this period in Hindi is called Etihasik Kal. Got it? Now, I will give you the example. What type of section is covered in prehistory? What type of section is covered in proto-history? And then what is in all history? See here, come to the first point, prehistory. Prehistory. Sources, archaeological sources. Here comes, gentlemen, here comes Stone Age. Why? In Hindi, you all are aware, it is called Pasand Kal. It is called Pasand Kal. Why? It is covered in the prehistory section. Because only excavation is available, exploration is available, and after the excavation, exploration, a huge, in a large amount, stones are discovered. Hello, not only stones are discovered, gentlemen, these stones are having a different variety, different tools that are made up with these stones. Nothing else. Nothing is written available. स्टोन, पत्थरों के बनाए गए औजार, पत्थरों के उपकरण. This is the reason it is called prehistory, Stone Age. Then come proto-history. Excavation, exploration written are available, but we are not in a position to read it. Example is Indus Valley Civilization. Indus Valley Civilization. सिंधु घाटी की सभ्यता. Hello. You all are aware, I think, if you have read the NCERT, that the script is there in the IBC. लिपि मिली है खुदाई के दौरान, but still it is not deciphered. अभी तक इसको पढ़ा नहीं जा सका है. This is the reason, gentlemen, Indus Valley Civilization comes in the proto-history part. Written तो है, but पढ़ा नहीं जा सका. थर्ड पार्ट है हिस्ट्री. इसके बाद जो कुछ भी अवेलेबल है, that is written, as well as we are in a position to read it. That all is in the history part. Got it? समझ गए? तो अब कोई पूछे कि भाई प्री हिस्ट्री क्या है, प्रोटो हिस्ट्री क्या है, हिस्ट्री क्या है, तो आई थिंक यू आर इन ए पोजीशन टू एक्सप्लेन इन अ बेटर वे व्हाट इज द क्राइटेरिया टू डिफाइन द प्री, प्रोटो एंड हिस्ट्री. और रही बात हिस्ट्री की डिफिनेशन की, so that I have given you my the orientation class, isn't it? I don't think that is still required to repeat. Should I move further? समझ गए? Note down. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Sources and sources to study ancient history. Sources to study ancient history. Means प्राचीन इतिहास को जानने या अध्ययन करने का स्रोत. You would be surprising that this is an English medium class, then why I am using the Hindi word? Because ancient history, gentlemen, is maximum in Sanskrit, then Pali, then Prakrit. As such, no any English version is there, but we are in the English medium. We write it in the English script, some words English meaning, though the mother tongue is Sanskrit. Then in Mauryan age, Buddhism, Pali. Then in Jainism, Prakrit. For example, in Hindi we say Ved. 4 वेद हैं. देखना वर्ड को, देखना वेद. बट यही जब इंग्लिश में बोलूंगा तो कहूंगा द वेदास. कितना अलग हो गया. ऋग्वेद, यजुर्वेद, शब्दों को देखिए. सामवेद, अथर्ववेद. इंग्लिश में बोलूंगा ऋग्वेदा, यजुर्वेदा, सामवेदा, अथर्ववेदा. आ वर्ड जुड़ता चला जाएगा. तो इसलिए आई विल यूज द बोथ सो दैट यू वुड बी comfortable exactly what is this. So sources to study the ancient history. Gentlemen, the sources can be broadly classified as number 1, archaeological sources. What type of sources? Archaeological sources that are obtained after excavation and exploration. Clear? Here in the archaeological sources, various subsections are there. Like A, inscription, Abhilekh, will tell you in detail. Then coinage, sikke. Then sculpture, वास्तुकला, मूर्तियां वगैरह. Buildings are monuments, painting, चित्रकला, these are the sources that comes under the archaeological evidences. Second source is literature, sahitya. This literature can further be classified as religious and secular, non-religious. Further, in religious, it can be classified as Brahman literature, Vedas and all those things will tell you, don't worry. Non-Brahman literature, in non-Brahman literature comes like Buddhist literature, Jaina literature, and other literatures. Then secular, like Arthashastra, Mudra Rakshas, will tell you in detail. Then the third part to know the ancient Indian history is, see here on the board, foreign account. Foreign account माने विदेशी स्रोत, those travelers who came to India, they wrote their travelogue, उन्होंने अपनी यात्रा वृत्तांत का वर्णन किया है, that are compiled, उन्होंने उसको कंपाइल किया है एक बुक के फॉर्म में, that provides exclusive information the then Indian time, उस समय भारत के समय को दर्शाता है. What type of dresses people used to wear, what was the social life, what was the religious belief, what was the economy, all those things are given in detail. Here in the foreign account, here in the foreign accounts, gentlemen, comes Greek account, Chinese account, then Arab account. Greek, you all are aware, Megasthenes, Dionysius, Dimachus. Not only this, the first and the foremost is Herodotus, who wrote Historica, who is called the father of history. All those, Strabo, Plutarch, Pliny, these are the Greek sources. Will tell you, don't worry, one by one I will tell you each and everything. Then Chinese, you all are aware, very much famous Huansang, who came in the time of Harsha before Hoensang, very famous one is Megas Fahyan, who came in the time of Gupta period, Chandragupta Vikramaditya II, and wrote very vividly, exclusively about the then Indian time. These both are very famous. Fahyan and Hoensang. Fahyan stayed 14 years in India, studied Buddhism in Nalanda University, collected the Buddhist text, then went back to China. Similarly, Hoensang, he stayed in India 16 years, 16 साल रहा भारत में. He also studied Buddhism in Nalanda University and wrote very vividly about the Buddhism, sect of Buddhism, Nalanda University, period of Hoensang, Harshvardhan, everything. Itsing. Then Arab sources, very much famous. Al-Biruni, you know, who wrote Kitabul Hind. He wrote about mathematics, geography, chemistry, medicine, Indian food, food habits, languages, script, nature of people, their attitude, dresses, everything in detail he wrote. Who? Al-Biruni. His famous book, Kitabul Hind. पीटी का क्वेश्चन है आपके लिए. That is also known as Min Makala. Don't worry, we'll give you, but I'm just telling you. Min Makala. Or the same book is also known as Tahqiq-e-Hind. तहकीकात वर्ड सुनते हो ना, तहकीकात जानना, तहकीक-ए-हिंद. Everything is written. Then came Al-Masudi. Isn't it? Yes. Hello. But interesting point, do you know? What? These sources, foreign travelogue, as far as the ancient history is concerned, do not speak much about political history. ये राजनीतिक इतिहास के बारे में ज्यादा नहीं बोलते. मैं जो कह रहा हूं सुनना. These foreign travelogue, foreign account, as far as the ancient history is concerned, they do not speak much about the political history, the political developments. Hello. Then what? फिर क्या बोलते हैं भाई? फिर क्या लिख दिया? They write about the society, about the economy, about the religion, about the dress, about the language, hello, about the food items. Means what? They write about the then cultural aspect of Indian history, ancient Indian history. क्या हुआ? पॉलिटिकल छोड़ दो तो बाकी क्या हुआ? आई टोल्ड यू इन द ओरिएंटेशन क्लास, व्हाट इज कल्चर? वे ऑफ लाइफ, जीवन जीने का तरीका. तो जीवन जीने का तरीका ही तो बता रहे हैं कि लोग क्या पहनते थे, क्या खाते थे, कैसे बोलते थे, क्या लिखते थे. स्टॉप. हेलो हेलो, नोट डाउन इन योर कॉपी. दिस वाज आउट ऑफ दिस. मैं लेता हूं, कौन सा कलर लूं? ले लेते हैं चलो पिंक. है? हेलो, ये देखना, ये देखना, ये देखना. चाइनीज और अरब को मैंने क्या किया? गोला। मेंस का सवाल आया था 2019, पिछले साल। व्हाट वाज द क्वेश्चन इन द मेंस एग्जाम? Reconstruct the ancient Indian history on the basis of the Chinese and Arabic sources. चीन और अरब स्रोतों के आधार पर प्राचीन भारतीय इतिहास को रिकंस्ट्रक्ट करें। अभी तक देखना ये सवाल किसमें आया? सीएससी मेंस। आर्ट एंड कल्चर का सवाल आया, बोलो, इजंट इट? अब कोई कह सकता है कि ये हिस्ट्री का सवाल नहीं है? कैन एनीवन से दैट सर दिस इज नॉट द हिस्ट्री क्वेश्चन? यस, सी द वेरी फर्स्ट basic, today is not basic, today the first class, in the very first class you are getting one question from what? Prelims as well as mains. Prelims का सवाल, the book of the Fahyan, the name of the book of Huansang. Fahyan came during whose period? Where did he attain the knowledge of Buddhism? Nalanda University. Fahyan, Huansang came during whose period? Al-Biruni, name of his book. Then other Greek sources, Strabo, his mentioning that Sati system was prevalent in the northwest region, northwest, among the Kutch caste, will tell you during the Mauryan period. Megasthenes came during the time of Mauryan period, Chandragupta Maurya, very famous book, Indica. Megasthenes writes about that the then 7 castes were present in the Indian society. उस समय भारतीय समाज में 7 जातियां थीं, 7 castes were present. Megasthenes writes the name of the city officer. He writes that roads were measured, though he writes in Greek word. इसी साल 2020 अभी जो प्रीलिम्स का एग्जाम हुआ है 4 अक्टूबर को, सवाल आया है एग्रोनोमोईवाज। क्या आया है? मैं लिख दे रहा हूं, एग्रोनोमोईवाज। दिस वर्ड इज रिटन बाय मेगास्थनीज, ऑफिसर, सिटी ऑफिसर associated with the city administration. तो प्री का सवाल ऑन द अदर हैंड जो डिटेल में उन्होंने लिखा है, अब आपने पॉइंट वाइज लिख दिया, दैट चाइनीज सोर्सेस, फाहियान राइट्स दिस, हुएनसांग राइट्स दिस, अरब सोर्सेस, अल-बरूनी राइट्स दिस, सिंपल, 200 वर्ड्स इज ओवर एंड मेंस इज कवर्ड, प्रीलिम्स इज कवर्ड। तो समझ में आया ना? देखो पहली ही क्लास में, शुरुआती में ही, how this is associated. So got it? So now we'll do in detail this and this. Clear? So now we are going to start in the sources section. Archaeological sources. In the archaeological sources, the first one is inscription. अभिलेख. The first question is, what is abhilekh? Abhilekh. See, if you focus on this word, abhilekh, Hindi word, you can get the meaning. How? अभिलेख मतलब जो लिखा हुआ है वो बाहर की तरफ आ रहा है. अभिलेख. मैं जो लिख रहा हूं, दिस इज नॉट अभिलेख. You can remove it. But if you make some deep mark and then write, you cannot remove it, which is done on stone, metal. वो आप देखते होंगे ना, घरों के आगे लोग पत्थरों पे नाम लिखवाते हैं तो वो गड्ढा हो जाता है. That is called अभिलेख. And the branch under which these inscriptions are studied is called epigraphy. The branch under which the inscriptions are studied is called epigraphy. Clear? So the ancient inscriptions are written on stone, copper plate, walls, and some are written on sculptures. मूर्तियों पर भी लिखे गए. Clear? So these inscriptions are written on stones, walls, metal plates, for example copper plates, pillars, and some are also written on sculptures. Clear? The most ancient inscription, is obtained from Central Asia. Timeline is 1400 BC. The name of place is beta Bogaj Koi. Bogaj Koi is the name of place from where these inscriptions are obtained. Do you know, on this inscription, Bogaj Koi, few gods are mentioned. Few gods are mentioned, like Indra, Mitra, Varuna, and one more, नासत्य, नासत्य. These four name of gods are mentioned. पीटी क्वेश्चन मैं लिख दे रहा हूं, प्रीलिम्स. Don't you think that these are the name of the Vedic gods? Yes. But if we talk about Indian context, अगर हम भारतीय इतिहास के संदर्भ में बात करें, भारत के संदर्भ में बात करें, तो इन इंडिया the most ancient inscriptions belong to Mauryan period. Most ancient inscriptions belong to which period? Mauryan period. Which period? Mauryan period. Which one? The most ancient one. The time period is roughly belongs to 300 BC. The places from where these inscriptions are obtained, various places, few are, I am giving you here, few are Maski, Gurjara, Nittur, Udegolam, Udegolam, Maski, Gurjara, Nittur. These are the few places from where we have the inscriptions. And do you know, on these four inscriptions, hello, PT question, name of Asoka is mentioned. Name of Asoka is mentioned. See the English version, Asoka. In Hindi, Asok. So this is again PT question. On which of the following places or inscriptions we get the name of Asoka? Go for in the exam. याद कर लो, ये चार जगह ऐसे हैं जहां से इंस्क्रिप्शंस मिले हैं, इन पर अशोक का नाम लिखा है. One PT question, ancient one, Central Asia. Timeline, roughly 1400 BC. Name of place, Bogajkoi. We have inscription, Abhilekh. On that inscription, few name of Vedic gods are mentioned, like Indra, Varuna, Mitra and Nasatya. But if in the exam the question is In India, the ancient inscription belongs to, or oldest inscription belongs to, time period 300 BC roughly, Mauryan period. Clear? Next PT question. On which of the following places we get the name of Asoka? Gofar, Budigolam, Maski, Gurzara and Nittu. Clear? Now, beta, most of the Asokan or Asokas inscriptions, most of the Asoka's inscriptions are written in Brahmi script. Brahmi script. This is again PT question. Most of the inscriptions written in Brahmi script. Remember, few inscriptions of Asokas in northwest, they are written in Kharoshthi script. Again beta, this is PT question. Northwest will tell you Lamgan, here northwest, nearby Afghanistan. Kharoshthi script. Two places are there. One place is Lamgan in northwest. Another one is Ser-e-Kuna. These two are the places where we have bilingual script. One is Greek plus second is Aramaic. This is again PT question, from where we get the inscription that is written in bilingual script. Your answer would be Greek and Aramaic. These two scripts are used in Lamgan and Ser-e-Kuna inscription. So देखो ये सब PT के सवाल है, factual. Everything is PT question. First, second, third, these all are PT question. See, If you see, so how many script are used? Brahmi, Kharoshthi, Greek, and Aramaic. All these 4 languages are used in Ashokan inscription. So how many languages are there in Ashokan script or Ashokan inscriptions? Your answer would be number 1, Brahmi, number 2, Kharoshthi, number 3, Greek, and number 4, Aramaic. Note down. Then after the Mauryan comes Gupta period. Few inscriptions are there Gupta period. In Gupta period, one place is there in Madhya Pradesh, MP. The name of the place is Eran. From here, there is an inscriptions. On this inscription, we have the reference of Sati system. Reference of Sati, do you know? वो महिलाएं अपने पति के बॉडी के साथ जल जाती थी. सती सिस्टम. गुप्ता पीरियड, one inscription, Eran, Madhya Pradesh. The timeline of this inscription is 510 AD. This talks about Sati system. Very, very important fact. Point to be noted here, one more factual aspect. And that factual aspect is that before Gupta period, most of the inscriptions are written in inscription are written in Prakrit language. Which language? Prakrit language. Petty question. Before Gupta period, Most of the inscriptions are written in Prakrit language, but in Gupta and post-Gupta period, most of the inscriptions are written in Sanskrit. In Gupta and post-Gupta period, most of the inscriptions are written in Sanskrit. Clear? Now, one more fact is there, and that fact is one ruler is there, that is Saka ruler. सका रूलर, सक शासक. बताऊंगा सक कब आए इंडिया में, एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री में. सक शासक. द नेम ऑफ दैट सक रूलर इज बेटा रुद्रदामन. व्हिच वन? रुद्रदामन. द नेम ऑफ द रूलर इज Rudradaman. His inscription is called Junagadh inscription. You know, Junagadh is in Gujarat. Junagadh inscription. This is the first inscription, beta. Hello. That is written in chaste Sanskrit. What I am going to use? The word, try to know. Chaste Sanskrit. Chaste Sanskrit. Chaste Sanskrit. Chaste संस्कृत. चेस्ट संस्कृत. अब आप लोग सोच रहे होंगे कि सर ये संस्कृत तो सुना था, ये चेस्ट संस्कृत क्या है? चेस्ट संस्कृत मतलब विशुद्ध संस्कृत. शुद्ध नहीं, विशुद्ध. शुद्ध में भी कुछ गलती हो सकती है. देयर कैन बी सम इम्प्योरिटी, बट विशुद्ध संस्कृत का बेटा ये हिंदुस्तान का पहला अभिलेख है. और ये अभिलेख है किसका? सक रूलर रुद्रदामन. Will tell you. This inscription also talks about repair of Sudarshan Lake. This inscription also talks about these inscriptions talk about what? Repair of Sudarshan Lake. रिपेयर ऑफ सुदर्शन लेक. एक सुदर्शन झील है जिसको क्या कराया गया था? रिपेयर कराया गया था. इट वॉज रिपेयर्ड बाय whom? रुद्रदामन. And it was built by whom? Chandragupta Maurya. It was repaired, got repaired two times. One by Rudradaman period and one in Skandagupta period, Gupta ruler. It was repaired two times. One during the period of Rudradaman and another during the period of Skandagupta. This is again PT question. So again I repeat, note down in your copy. Junagadh inscription belongs to Rudradaman, who was a Saka ruler. This inscription is the first inscription that is in chaste Sanskrit. विशुद्ध संस्कृत का पहला अभिलेख है. Write down. This inscription talks about, or this inscription mentions that the Sudarshan lake was repaired. Sudarshan lake, write down 2 points about Sudarshan lake. It was built during the time of Mauryan ruler Chandragupta Maurya, and it was repaired by number 1 Rudradaman and number 2 Skandagupta. So this is the information about Junagadh inscription. Now, one more fact about inscription. The fact is, who discovered Asokan inscription? Who discovered Asokan inscription? Your answer would be T. Fenthaler. Asokan inscription was discovered by whom? T. Fenthaler. Who deciphered first? पहले वो कौन शख्स था जिसने पढ़ा? Your answer would be James Prinsep. The year is 1837. In this year, Ashokan inscriptions was deciphered by James Prinsep, and this inscription which was deciphered by James Prinsep was in Brahmi script. Brahmi script. This is again PT question. This question has been asked in the year 2017 PT exam. Clear? So who discovered first? Tiefenthaler. And who deciphered first? James Prinsep. Now, moving further. Second source, archaeological. We are doing first archaeological sources. In the archaeological, we did first inscription. Now, second we are going to do is what? Coinage. Means sikke. The branch under which the study of coinage is carried out is called numismatics. Is called numismatics. Mudra Shastra. Mudra Shastra. This is again PT question. The study of coinage is called numismatics. Mudra Shastra. These coins were made up of silver, copper, gold, lead. See, in the initial period, इन सिक्कों पर कुछ लिखा नहीं होता था. There was nothing written, only a punching was there. Do you know punching? ठप्पा लगाना, मतलब पंच कर दिया, एक पंच मारा. तो ये मेटल थे, लेड थे, इन पर पंच मार देते थे. अब पंच जब मारोगे तो चोट लगेगी ना. कहते आहत हो गए. बातचीत में यू यूज द वर्ड ना, आहत हो गए. Hello, this punching, this ahat is called, the Phoenician period coins are called punch mark coin or ahat sikke. Punch mark coin, or in the initial period these coins were called punch marked coins, or they were also called ahat सिक्के. इन पर क्या होता था बेटा? कुछ डिजाइन बनी होती थी. किसकी? बर्ड, एनिमल्स, इनकी डिजाइन बनी होती थी. पंच मार्क कॉइन. And this punch mark coin roughly came during 500 BC. First time they came in the form of punch marked coin. But This is all PT question. Hello, everybody. These are called punch marked coin. Now see the beauty. Beauty means सुंदरता. क्या सिक्के भी तो सुंदर बनेंगे. तो first time the standard coins. First time the standard coins were issued by Greek rulers. Whom? Greek rulers first time issued standard coins. What do you mean by standard coins? These standard coins having the date of issue, जारी करने की तारीख, जारी करने की तारीख कि कब सिक्का जारी हुआ. Not only this, these coins having the portrait of kings. इन सिक्कों पर जारी करने वाले राजाओं के चित्र बने होते थे. These coins were having the portrait of their kings. Standard coin, date of issue. First time issued by whom? Your answer would be beta Greek rulers. Hello, 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 beta. First time. Again, gold coins issued by whom? If in the exam this question, hello, again go to Greek rulers. So see on the board, first time standard coins were issued by whom? Greek rulers. These coins having the date of issue, having the portrait of their kings. Not only this, first time the gold coins were issued by again these Greek rulers. Not only this. So in this way, we can say that the first time linguistic coin means ऐसा कॉइन जिस पर कुछ लिखा हो. Issued by whom? Again goes to Greek rulers. Again goes to Greek rulers. So now when we are talking about this gold coin which was first issued by Greek rulers, again I am going to give you few facts about the gold coin. Few facts about the gold coin. See, these gold coins. These gold coins, see here, issued first by, answer is Greek. This gold coin issued in largest number by whom? Your answer is Gupta ruler. Hello. Third is the purest gold coin. The purest gold coins issued by Your answer would be, hello, Kushanas. Your answer would be Kushana ruler. Your answer would be Kushana ruler. Kushana, I think you know, Kanishka was Kushana ruler, Kushana शासक. Means कुषाण शासकों ने बेटा purest, they issued the purest gold coin. Guptas issued the largest number of gold coin. And first time this gold coin was issued by Greek rulers. So please try to remember Greek, Guptas and Kushanas. All are beta PT question. See, these coins have their own significance in the study of economic aspect of the then period. How? Don't you think if there is a prosperity, we would have a large number of coin? It may be gold coin, it may be silver. Yes. So coins represent the economic aspect of the then period. So this is all about coins. Next comes archaeological evidences. In the archaeological evidences, next comes what? Sculpture. Third one. Inscriptions done, coins done. Third one, sculpture. Here these sculptures will do in detail Gandhara art, Mathura art, Amaravati art, Sarnath art. Will do in detail in art and culture aspect. Fourth one, buildings and monuments. Here we can say different type of styles in the buildings comes, like here comes temples. In temples will do various style, Nagara style, Dravida style, Vesar style, will do in detail in art and culture. But here these all are archaeological evidences. Clear? So archaeological sources is over. Clear? Now we'll move literary sources. Sahityak Srot. As far as the literary source is confirmed, the first one about the literary sources Brahmin literature. In the Brahmin literature, the first one is the Vedas. Under this, we'll see all those 4 Vedas: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Athar Veda. After the Vedas, we'll do the Brahmanas. In Hindi, it is called Brahman. This is not the caste. We'll tell you this is a text. After the Brahmanas, the आरण्यकाज, हिंदी में इसे कहेंगे आरण्यक. देन उपनिषद, all this in detail we'll do in the Vedic period. Then some Puranas, Puran, these are under Brahmin literature. We'll do in detail, don't worry. After the Brahmin literature comes non-Brahmin literature. Under the non-Brahmin literature, there are various texts that will do like Buddhist text, Jaina text, here we'll do what are the sources. Then third one, we'll do some secular text. Here in the secular text, they are also called the popular literature. They are also called the popular literature. Here we'll do all those texts that is completely devoid of religious aspect. धर्म का कोई लेना देना नहीं है, धर्म के बारे में कम और राजनीतिक इतिहास के बारे में ज्यादा बताया गया. For the example, the first one is here, Arthashastra. You all know, written by whom? Chanakya, Vishnugupta. Don't think this is only a book on economy. No, this is the first text that talks about politico administrative theory. राजनैतिक प्रशासनिक सिद्धांतों की बात करता है. Yes, it is the Arthashastra that talks about सप्तांग थ्योरी, सप्तांग सिद्धांत. how to govern, how to rule. सप्तांग सिद्धांत, it talks that there are 7 organs of a state. Then comes Mudra Rakshas. Mudra Rakshas. This Mudra Rakshas is written by Visakh Dutt. Then Katha Sarit Sagar. This is written by Somdev. Then Brihat Katha Manjari. Brihat Katha. This is written by whom? Kshemendra. Kshemendra. Brihat Katha Manjari. Then comes Mahabhasya, written by Patanjali. This is basically commentary on a Brahman book, Panini. This Mahabhasya, very, very important for PT point of view. This question was asked this year prelims, this year on 4th October. Mahabhasya is a commentary on first Sanskrit grammar book, and this first Sanskrit grammar book is what? Ashtadhyayi. Ashtadhyayi. Written by whom? This is written by whom? This is written by Panini. Panini. Ashtadhyayi. So, if in the exam the question, the first Sanskrit book, Sanskrit grammar book, Ashtadhyayi. Who wrote? Panini. But on this book, who wrote commentary? Tika kisne likhi? Tika. Patanjali. And the name of the book is Mahabhasya. Got it? Mahabharata se. So these are the some popular literature. Then one more comes, very, very important, and that is Raj Tarangani. Raj Tarangani, written by whom? This is written by Kalhan. Gentlemen, Kalhan was a historian in the court of Harsha. Harsha here where? Jammu Kashmir. Kashmir. This Raj Tarangani is regarded as the first historical book. First historical book. Why? Because, as I told you in the first orientation class, history has three aspects: time, period, and the third one, characteristic, elements of changes and continuity. So this is written in a very chronological sequence. Therefore, this is regarded as the first historical book. Kalhan. PT question. Who wrote? Kalhan. After this, so many texts are there. Like one more is there, Someswar. Someswar wrote Rasmala. Similarly, there are some astrological texts. Astrological text that talks about what? Astrology. Like what? Gargi Sanhita. This talks about astrology. Gargi. In this Gargi Sanhita, we have the reference of attack of Greek on India. Or in Hindi, one more question, Yavan. Greek are also called in Hindi Yavan Akraman ka ullekh. If in the exam the question is, go for Gargi Sanhita. Got it? Similarly, one more literature is there in the secular text, and that belongs to South India. And a very important text is in South India, Sangam age. During Sangam age, we'll tell you what do you mean by Sangam. Sangam means, do you remember that Gana? Bol Radha Bol Sangam Hoga ki nahi. Sangam means Milan, Milna. So here who are meeting? Various poets together are coming on a platform in assembly that took place thrice, 3 बार हुआ आयोजन, जिसमें कई सारे कवियों का सम्मेलन हुआ. 3 Sangam age is there. 3 Sangam age is there. 3 Sangam age. In this Sangam age, those texts are written. First Sangam age, as such, no any much proof is there, evidence is there, text is there. Similarly, like second, but in third Sangam, we have few texts that are there, and one very important text is there, Tolakappiyam. तमिल ग्रामर बुक, तमिल ग्रामर बुक तो लक्कप्पियम. थोड़ा सा आपको प्रोनाउंसिएशन में यू माइट फील डिफिकल्टी, बट नो, तमिल वर्ड तो लक्कप्पियम. This is written by whom? This is written by Tolakappiyar. Tolakappiyar. And gentlemen, this book Tolakappiyam is the first book. This is the first book on Tamil grammar. This is the first book on Tamil grammar, Tolakappiyam. Tolakappiyam. Got it? So this is Sangam text. So we have some texts that are available belonging to South India called Sangam age. Clear? So this is non-Brahmin secular literature. So literary evidences, Brahmin, in the Brahmin, the Vedas, the Brahmanas, the Aranakas, the Upanishad, Vedang, some sutras, some smritis, then non-Brahmin literature belonging to Buddhist text, Jaina text, then some popular literature can be also referred as secular literature, popular literature. In that series, the first one that comes is Arthashastra, written by Chanakya, also known as Vishnugupta. This book, Arthashastra, Kautilya, Chanakya, Vishnugupta. This book is the first book on the politico-administrative theory. Though this book tells about the Mauryan period, but this is a very important book on the politico-administrative theory. In this book, we have the whole information about the system, the governance, bureaucratic setup, Saptang theory, duties of a king, subject, everything is there. Then Mudra Rakshas, written by Visakha Datta. Then Brihad Katha Manjari, written by Kshemendra. If we go to South India, then we find the Sangam text belonging to Sangam period. What is Sangam period? As I told you, Sangam means assembly of poets, Milna, Milan. This held 3 times in South India. And during the Pandyas kingdom, Pandyas patronage was there. We'll do in the South India, Sangam age, Cholas were there, Cheras were there, Pandyas were there. जिसे आप हिंदी में कहते हो चोल, चेर, पांड्या, ये राजा थे, किंगडम था इनका, डायनेस्टी थी. So this Sangam was organized by Pandyan kingdom, Pandyan kings. पांड्य राजाओं ने इस संगम का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन किया. 3 times, 3 Sangam took place. In the 3rd Sangam, we have the collection of some outcomes. One such very important outcome is Tolakappiyam. This is a book on the Tamil grammar, and this was written by Tolakappiyar. Similarly, we have some other text that also comes under the category of astrological text, like Gargi Sahita, as I told you. Here we have the reference of the Greek invasion, Yavan Akraman. In this series, so many texts are there. So many texts are there. will give you from time to time. So this is all about literary evidences. And now the next one, that is foreign account, foreign travelogue. So this we'll do in the next class. Okay. Thank you.